Bill Burr came and did my new joke show a couple of weeks ago. He stopped in.
Oh, wow.
You guys didn't? Oh, you didn't hear about it? I was sitting by the
No,
door.
wait.
No, we
can't
did not hear
yeah,
that.
motherfucker, you can't just come on the podcast and be like, yeah, the Bill Burr. Especially, you saw how wet Eric got. Like, the table even bumped. He got hard, bro.
So
let's hear this.
So he's, if you don't know, he's in New York doing this play, Glengarry Glen Ross, with Bob Odenkirk. Somebody else is in it. I can't remember who else it is. So he's doing this play, and so he's kind of like, and he's in town, whatever it is, 6 weeks, 8 weeks. Means he's in town every weekend, and he's doing 2 shows on Saturday. He's doing 4 shows a weekend: Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So it's hard to also go and do spots. It's hard to schedule spots. So he's just sort of popping around doing comedy, going in wherever he wants. And so the booker at Westside Comedy Club, which is where I run my weekly new joke show on Tuesdays, she's got, Westside is a unique experience because there's people at my level, and even people who are I'm sort of in the middle, but even people who are at the bottom of the rung there, and we'll wind up on shows all the time with celebrity. I opened for John Oliver twice, just because I was, and he was, just because I was on the show, he was on the show. It's just the way it went. But those were for Saturday night shows. So I run this Tuesday new joke show, and there's a lot of headliners coming. Roy Wood came in. Al Frank has been on a bunch of times. People come in because it's a good comedy with a net. I've established.
Roy Wood Jr.
What's that?
Roy Wood Jr.
Yeah, he just got hard.
He just got hard. Great. That's why I said.
Yeah, you can't.
Look like the I knew Roy Wood.
You can't drop that name and not. Look, my nipples got hard. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Adam. Keep going.
So I'm sitting by the door one day, and so Bill Burr's around town, and he's doing spots, and the booker, unbeknownst to me, had told his people he's dropping in everywhere. Why doesn't he drop in at my club? And they go, all right, yeah, we'll send him over. And he's been there before. He's done comedy. She was like, have him come by. I'd love to have him come by. And I guess she always tells people that there are shows Tuesday through Sunday, because there are. But Tuesday is my show. I mean, it's a house show, but it's my show. And he must have just been like, Tuesday night. So I'm sitting by the door, and I look to my and the door opens. I look to my right, and I recognize. I know that face. Like, why is that here?
It's like,
why is he?
And it's like, my first thought is that guy looks a lot like Bill Burr, and then it's Bill Burr, and he goes, is there a show on tonight? And I go, it's like 7:55. I go, yeah, 8:00 new joke show. You want to do some time? He like turns. Yeah, I'll do that. And I go, okay, great. My host is going to be here in about 5 minutes, and then he'll do about 7 minutes. We'll start at 8:05. I'll do about 7 minutes, and then bring you up. And he goes, okay. And then he goes over and hang him by the bar. So then I text my friend. I go, I text the host. I go, change of plans. Bill Burr is here. He's going up after you. And he goes, what?
Sure.
I go, I'm not kidding. What? And I go, it's just like what I said. And then the dude walks in and he goes, what the fuck? And I go, I don't know. He goes, he's over there. And the host goes, how much time is he doing? And I go, I don't know. You're the host.
However much fucking time he wants.
Yeah.
Well, that's not how much, but I go, I don't know. You're the host. He goes, should I just go over there? I go, you're the host. So he goes up, and then he came in. He did about 15 minutes. That's the cool thing about a guy like Bill Burr, is that he understands. He's opening the show, right? He's not going to do all the time, right? He doesn't, right? He doesn't need that. He understands. And honestly, I feel like if he didn't like it, if he wasn't into it, he would have dipped out of 5 minutes. But I mean, he could have done. They loved him. Because the other thing is that I have an audience. I have people who come all the time. We never put the special guests. We never have a surprise go up first. The surprise always goes up last. When TJ Miller came, he went up last. It's either or late or we never put the special. So the host, he does his time and he goes, by the way, Bill Burr, and like the audience is like, well, that's crazy, right? Like,
Yeah.
So then he did 15 minutes, and what was awesome about it was that it wasn't it wasn't so much that it was the whole show. You know what I mean? Like a lot of times, like you do whatever 3 10-minute spots, and then the guest star goes up, does 20 minutes, and the audience is like, I saw what I needed. You know what I mean? I saw a few openers, and then the headliner, it was awesome, right? I'm ready to go. But like that happened when Roy Wood came by. He asked to go up. The booker told me he was coming at 9:15, and I was like, I'd love to be able to put him on at 9:30 because there's no show. The show starts at 8. If he goes on at 9:15, that's not enough for me to get everybody else that I've got booked on, and nobody else is going to want to. There's nobody left to. Once he goes on, there's no show.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
You can't. Yeah, you can't. That's that. Yeah. I mean.
So what I did was I scheduled everybody else before me, and then I put myself on right before Roy Wood, so that if he wanted to go quickly, I could do like 2 minutes, and then I didn't want to knock anybody else's time out. But it's a fun show. Tuesdays, if for all the New York people all the New York City people who are watching or listening to the podcast, Tuesdays, Westside Comedy Club. It's on 75th Street. The show is free. We do the show for free, and not New Yorkers are used to free show. That means it sucks. No, we do this as a free show because it's a new joke show, and that's what I do, so that there's the comics don't feel like they have to deliver for something that the audience has paid for. And that's
okay. That makes sense
because most of the people I work with are such professionals that they don't want audience members to feel like they paid for somebody to watch somebody's rehearsal. You know what I mean? Like you don't pay.
Yeah. Can you shout that out again, like the info and stuff like that, please? So,
the show is the show's at Westside Comedy Club, which is on 75th Street, between Broadway and Columbus. Amsterdam. Sorry, 75th and Amsterdam. Tuesdays at 8 p.m. It's the new joke show. And listen, we do. By the way, we ask that you make reservations just so we know how many people are coming, because the menu at the place, it's got the same menu as the Mexican restaurant upstairs, which is always packed full of people, even when there's not comedy happening. So the restaurant's really good. So the food is good, and we say one drink minimum, we say one item minimum, but usually people are cool and they buy a drink or they buy the food is great.
Oh yeah.
We ask that people make reservations so that we know how many servers to have, because like last week, because it's spring break week, we had like 50 people, which on Tuesdays is really good for 50 people.
Oh wow, yeah. For a Tuesday.
For a Tuesday, and the server, God bless him, he works. The guy's name is Manny, and he comes by, and he's there even when we have 5 people. But the dude is hustling because he's the bartender and the server that night. So he's hustling to get people drinks, hustling to get people their food. They do have like bus boys who bring the food, but he's got to take all the orders and make all the drinks and deal with all that stuff. So we ask that people make reservations just so that we know how many people are coming. And there is a pay what you want, and that money, by the way, the pay as you want always goes to the server, because we don't. Nice. The other thing that happens is that people come, they buy a beer, and then they don't tip. So come by on Tuesday. Yeah. That whole part was not necessary. Tuesdays, 8:00, new joke show. And like I said, we often have huge drop-ins. Roy Wood, Bill Burr, TJ Miller, Gary Gulman, Zarna Garg. By the way, if anyone knows Zarna Garg, she's in that movie which you may have heard. It's called A Nice Indian Boy. It's a story of like an Indian kid who's gay, and he's marrying like a white guy. So she's in that movie. She used to come and do my new joke show all the time. She has a book out, and she doesn't come so much anymore. Now she just she'll go headline the Beacon. But she every once in a while people come by, and we get some really. Every week we have people from late night. I mean, every week this woman Erin McGuire, who just did Colbert, she comes every month. So it's a good time.
Oh, wow.
And if you really like comedy, it's fun, because the other thing you get to see is you really get to see behind the curtain. We're all doing jokes, and nobody, it's a lot of the time it's the first time people are doing the jokes, and you never know if it's going to be good. Or here's this joke that I know is really well. I know really well, but will it still be funny if I add this thing to it or I change this that I think is going to make it funny? And then there's a lot of fun of what happens when the joke doesn't land. And this is what's great about when you go to see comics that you have confidence in with jokes that they don't have confidence in. Because if you go to an open mic and you see somebody bomb, you're just like, oh, they suck, they stink, they're not funny. But when you see somebody that has the credibility, even if you don't know them, even if it's not, Roy Wood, even if it's just somebody who has been on Netflix, but you never heard of before, you have the confidence that they're funny. So if the joke doesn't land, you can enjoy that experience as still as a comedy appreciator. You can enjoy a funny person with a joke that's not funny in a way that you can't with just somebody who's terrible.
Well, the audience is a big thing because there's a open mic and it's got mostly college kids and other people. It's free. It's just an open mic, but you go there and sometimes the joke's good, but they don't get it.
Means it's just
that's the other thing about this is that one of the reasons that it works very well is
no, I did a joke. Like, remember we did that thing about the goose, the Canadian geese.
Tell Adam.
I told that joke and not a single crack at all. Eric, I was like, this is good. I worked on this. This is good, and not a single crack. I was like,
so
I was upset. I was like, this was good.
It was an immigration joke that talks about how Canadian geese you can't attack.
They're protected.
Goose. They're protected, right?
Yeah.
You know this? Like, it's federal time, and federal time does not fuck around, right?
Yeah.
We wanted to know because a lot of times here in Springfield, they'll just fucking land on the road and like, we'll sit there, like, look at you like you're like.
They'll stop traffic because you can't
do anything.
Yeah.
So we discovered that apparently there's a treaty
with geese
between the geese and the United States that we will not harm them, but they're not endangered.
They're not endangered.
They're not in danger. And do you know where they live